Best to project. I am Jenny Barbahan. I'm on the school board, and I'm very excited to see so many people excited about the PMSA and MSA at East and West programs. I know that it's something over the last couple of years we've been trying to get out more information, help usher in these applications so it's really easy as we can make it for our parents and our students. So thank you for coming tonight, and I will hand it over to Ms. Chaganos, who is the principal at PMSA.
Thank you so much, Ms. Barbahan. I'll try and project my voice. It's slowly but surely coming back. Thank you so much for coming, you guys. This is our awesome library, which we are lucky enough to have funding to replenish our books, our nonfiction, our fiction, and our database sources all the time. So if you come here next year, that's awesome. If you go to East next year, you get to go to Hogwarts. They have such a cool library, which ours is nowhere near as cool, but I love our library too. I want to introduce our leadership team, which I am so thankful for each and every day to help keep this place functioning and rocking and rolling. So to my left, your right, we have our Assistant Principal of Student Success, Ms. Kim McElroy. So give it up for Ms. McElroy. And then also to your right, my left, we have our awesome Assistant Principal of Instruction, Dr. Mason. Dr. Mason's roots as an educator started here as an English teacher. So we are fortunate that she has continued her instructional journey here now in an administrative role. And then also to your right, we have our Dean of Safety, Wellness, and Student Success, Mr. Pete Zack. Mr. Zack has also been a contributor in the district now. This is year 18 or 18 plus. He's been at all 3 campuses and started off as a wellness teacher, behind the wheel coordinator, and now he is joining us for the first year in administrative capacity as our dean. So we are so thankful to have him on our building leadership team, Mr. Zack. So I've been here quite a while too. So collectively we have, I think we added up like 40 plus years of institutional knowledge. So, and then if you're part of the Proviso West Math and Science Academy next year, oh yes, I do remember what their library looks like. What am I talking about? It's about twice the size of this. And Miss Scott is a librarian over there, and she is awesome. Obviously, I like reading because I keep dwelling on library. But that's not what we're here to talk to you about tonight. We're here to talk about the admissions process, whether you come to the Forest Park campus as a Math and Science Academy student, or you go to Proviso East as a pirate for their Math and Science Academy program, or you go to Proviso West as a Panther, their Math and Science Academy program. The admissions process is the same for all 3 campuses. And so rather than explain it 3 times, we're going to explain it once. In English, we also have the details on the Promethean board in Spanish. And then the board's executive assistant, Ms. Janessa Enriquez, is going to provide intermittent Spanish translation. I will say that all information that we present tonight is available in English and Spanish on our district website. So there's a tab at the top that says Math and Science Academies. Whatever you missed tonight or you want more details, you go to that tab. There's a beautiful FAQ document. Every question that you could think of is on there. But if there are additional questions that aren't on there, there's an email address, MSA Admissions, that you can email, and we update that regularly. If someone asks a question that's not answered, we add it to that document. It's a working document. And then all the steps for admissions are on there as well. But we're happy you're here so we can walk you through the process. And then we also have 2 of our National Honor Society students that are here tonight. If you have any questions about life as a Math and Science Academy student, if there are any 8th grade or 7th grade students here that might just want to ask, hey, can you tell us a little bit about high school life? They are here for you to ask them those questions too. So they'll be available a little bit later for that portion. We have Brandon, Arnold Wallace, and Taylor Bateman, and they're sitting over there. So they'll be in the hot seat a little bit later. So without further ado, we'll get started on that. And again, thank you. If you need to use the washroom at any point, the closest bathroom will be out that door. If you go to the carpet hallway where you first came in, you've gone too far. But this inner hallway, there's a male and a female bathroom that are open. They're not locked bathrooms at all. But that's where you would find the facilities, okay?
And I'll just go over that briefly in Spanish.
Every single word of it.
Everything she said, don't worry. So, le queremos dar las gracias a todos por estar aquí. Le damos una cordial bienvenida a todos los padres que están presentes. Primeramente, estamos aquí para hablar acerca del proceso de aplicación para la Academia de Ciencias y Matemáticas. La que ahorita estaba introduciendo era la principal de esta escuela. También introdujo a toda la administración que está aquí con ella hoy. Y también menciono que van a haber estudiantes que están presentes que vienen a la academia, a cual ustedes pueden hacer preguntas al final de cuando se acabe la sesión para ver cómo es estar en esta escuela. Con mucho gusto aceptamos esas preguntas. Y para concluir, ella dijo que los baños están a mano izquierda. Si alguien gusta ir, pueden ir, están disponibles. Okay?
All right. My name is Alex Ashoff. I'm the interim superintendent here at Proviso Township High Schools and also serve as the deputy superintendent of educational services.
Buenas tardes, otra cordial bienvenida. Hoy estamos aquí para hablar del proceso de aplicación para matemáticas y ciencia. La presentación será disertada por nuestro superintendente interino, Alexander Ashoff, y yo estaré traduciendo para ustedes. Mi nombre es Janice Enriquez y es un placer estar con ustedes.
All right, so let's dive into this process. And I know a lot of you guys do have questions. We'll have time for kind of question and answer at the end of this, and we have our students here that will also help with that. That one or? Okay. So we'll go through all of these slides kind of one by one and try to explain this process. But again, try to keep and hold your questions, write anything down, and we'll get those questions at the end.
Cualquier pregunta que tenga, si por favor la puede mantener en mente y al final la puede hacer. Con gusto se la contestamos.
All right. So at Proviso Township High Schools, I think you know we have this campus, Proviso Math and Science Academy, and we also have Proviso East and Proviso West. At Proviso East and Proviso West, we also offer the same rigorous coursework that happens here in this building. Several years back, the Board of Education kind of expanded the course offerings that were offered in this campus because of the overwhelming success of this campus, trying to expand that program. So that's why you'll see this PE MSA or PW MSA. Some of the very small highlights, but on a big idea here. You're going to hear a lot about the International Baccalaureate courses offered in this building. And the International Baccalaureate courses are kind of what stands this campus aside from a lot of the other high schools across Illinois. So that's one of the things that we hold ourselves very prideful on, is that rigorous coursework in the International Baccalaureate. And you'll hear a little bit more about that later on. We also have weighted GPAs with all of the courses here and in the MSA programs at Proviso East and Proviso West. And that essentially means that those grades, if you were to get an A, that's a higher weighted GPA. It's like extra points on your GPA, if you will, for taking those more rigorous courses that are happening here and again at those other two campuses. And we encourage, hopefully there's a lot of 8th graders. Any 8th grader can apply, and we'll go into that process of what that looks like, whether you live in district or you're homeschooled or you're a private school student, and what that looks like a little bit later. All of that. Well, I know you had some notes up here.
¿Por qué elegir el programa de MSA en Proviso? Las academias de matemática y ciencia están en las 3 escuelas, no solamente en este edificio. Puede ir a la Academia de Matemáticas y Ciencia en Forest Park, que viene siendo donde estamos ahorita. También se proveerá en Proviso East, que está en Maywood, y Proviso West, que se hospeda en Hillside. Todas las escuelas de MSA proporcionan un alto nivel de rigor y ritmo para los estudiantes que han cumplido con los criterios de admisión. Así que si no puede tomar el curso en ese edificio, lo podrá tomar en alguno de los otros edificios, que también está disponible. El promedio de calificación, su GPA valdrá más, y los estudiantes toman un curso de investigación requerida en la preparación de AP, que viene siendo las clases avanzadas, y de IB, que es el bachillerato internacional, como estudiantes de último año. Se anima a todos los estudiantes de octavo grado a aplicar.
I'll pause like a little bit in. All right, so within this process, you're going to hear a little bit about what they call cut scores. So we'll talk about the admissions process and what it takes to actually apply and then to have a complete admissions portfolio, if you will, and how that score determines whether or not what campus you may be invited to. Generally speaking, we accept about 230 students approximately at this building.
¿A qué escuela de MSA puede asistir mi estudiante? Las tres escuelas ofrecen el mismo curso riguroso de matemática y ciencia a los estudiantes que son admitidos en el programa. La única diferencia será la ubicación, que son entre tres que puede escoger. Las puntuaciones de acceso se determinan en función de la capacidad de inscripción de las clases del entrante. Y solamente las 230 mejores calificaciones aproximadamente serán invitados a elegir entre tres escuelas de origen, ya sea este local, que es la academia, Proviso East o Proviso West.
So beyond this school, again, we said about around 230 students based on our capacity, number of teachers. We take a look at that every year. And then at Proviso East and Proviso West, it's approximately 100 students.
Las próximas 100 mejores calificaciones que hagan después de las 230 van a ser invitados a asistir al programa de MSA en su escuela de origen, ya sea en Proviso East o Proviso West, dependiendo de dónde viven.
So within the application, when you fill out your application, you'll designate whether your first choice is going to be this campus in Forest Park, or if your first choice is that if you live in Proviso East's district and you're selecting Proviso East Math and Science Academy as your first choice, or if you live at Proviso West's district and Proviso West Math and Science Academy is your first choice.
Cuando usted esté llenando la aplicación, le va a preguntar ahí a cuál escuela le gustaría ir. Entonces, puede ir a este local si es que usted gusta, pero si usted vive más cerca de Proviso East o Proviso West, también puede escoger tomar este curso en la escuela que esté más cerca a su casa.
And one thing we're stressing is, again, with the coursework, whether it's Proviso East, Proviso West, or here, those courses in your main core, so English, math, science, and social studies, are the same.
Queremos recalcar que cualquier escuela que usted escoja, el curso es igual. Las materias que más importan, que vienen siendo las matemáticas, lectura, ciencias sociales, todas esas van a ser igual. Se puede tomar el mismo curso en cualquiera de estas tres escuelas.
So briefly, again, these are the courses. There's a lot more detail on our district webpage that will go through all of the different course offerings. But this will just be a very just overview and this progression of what courses from 9th grade all the way through 12th grade. And this slide is just showing your English and your social studies courses.
Aquí se demuestra los cursos de inglés y ciencias sociales. Hay más detalle en nuestro sitio web si es que le hace clic a este enlace que tenemos aquí, donde usted puede ver con más detalles cómo es que estos cursos son ofrecidos, a través de cuál grado su estudiante va.
And with this, because I'm not saying all of the courses, we will post this presentation on our district website as well, probably early tomorrow. So whether you're taking pictures or trying to write down notes, we'll make sure to post the presentation tomorrow morning.
Sabemos que le estamos dando mucha información hoy y que tal vez no se van a acordar de todo, no hay problema. Lo vamos a poner disponible, está disponible en nuestro sitio web, tal vez mañana, para que si usted quiere volver a repasar la información, pueda hacerlo.
I'm going to just throw this out there. We are having an admissions open house at PMSA Tuesday, December 17th. I don't have this information, but it's also going to have a building tour. So you guys will be getting flyers at your middle schools. That's Tuesday, December 17th at 5:30. So it'll have meet teachers, meet staff, clubs, athletics, all that stuff.
All right, so the other courses you're seeing here are in math and science. Again, there's a number of electives offered, number of courses. This is just very high-level overview of this possible course progression within these 4 core areas. Yeah?
Next one, let's go one more slide. There you go.
You want me to say it again?
No. Lo mismo que recalcamos en el diseño pasado es que estas son las materias primarias, matemática y ciencia. Otra vez van a estar en línea por cualquier razón, si usted la tiene que volver a repasar. Va a haber más detalles de en cuál grado, dependiendo cuál grado su estudiante esté. Usted puede repasar cuáles son los cursos ofrecidos y lo vamos a tener disponible en línea.
Very angry.
I'm sorry. Is there 17 only or
Both. It's informational, tour, classroom demonstrations. 2 hours, yeah.
All right. Gonna get this technology, I swear. All right. So who can apply? So again, it's any 8th grade student, and we'll show all the different middle schools, but any 8th grade student that lives within the Proviso Township footprint. There are also students who may attend a private school, like Walther. There's 3, I know, and I can't think of the names right now.
Divine Providence.
Divine Providence.
St. Luke's.
All right. So if you live in the Proviso Township footprint and currently go to one of our foundation middle schools or a private school, or even if you're moving into the area and you may live out of district, but you're going to be moving into the district upon the next school year, once the next school year starts.
¿Quién puede aplicar? Cualquier estudiante de 8º grado que asista a una de las escuelas secundarias del distrito 209 puede aplicar a esta escuela. Y ahorita le vamos a enseñar una lista de todas las escuelas fundamentales las cuales recibimos estudiantes. También cualquier estudiante de 8º grado que actualmente asiste a una escuela privada o es educado en casa, también puede aplicar para entrar a esta escuela. Y cualquier estudiante de 8º grado que actualmente asiste a una escuela intermedia que esté fuera del distrito, pero su residencia permanente está dentro del distrito 209, puede aplicar para esta escuela.
All right. Hopefully some of these schools look familiar. Does anyone attend at least one of these schools up here somewhere?
¿Alguien va a alguna de estas escuelas?
Okay. Hopefully. All right. So these are all of our foundational middle schools. We have 8 districts. We have 11 schools. I'll even say we also have PACE that's within our district. That's one of our cooperative schools. And then we also have another school called the West 40 Safe School. So we will be supporting testing, and we'll talk about testing in a second, at each one of these schools.
Tenemos 8 escuelas, 11 distritos y también tenemos escuelas para educación especial donde ayudamos a estudiantes que necesiten más ayuda o apoyo.
All right, so the steps. All right, so this is where the stuff's starting to get good here. We have 3 steps for the application process. All right, we're going to go into each into some more detail, but first is to submit the application of utmost importance. This is on our district website. We'll show you where that's at, but that's step number 1. It opened November 1st, closes January 15th. If you're going to write anything down, make sure you know and you apply before January 15th.
¿Cuáles son los requisitos de admisión para MSA? La primera, son 3, pero empecemos con la primera. Completar y enviar su aplicación. Va a estar disponible en nuestro sitio web. Muy importante, está abierto para aplicar 1 de noviembre y cierra 15 de enero. Ya después de ahí no van a poder aplicar.
I say one thing about the application. Every year there's at least one middle school where the homeroom teacher, the schools that do have a homeroom, with good intention is like, I'm going to fill this out with my students. It is so imperative, parents and guardians, that you fill it out with your own student. Do not rely on the middle school to fill it out with your child for you because of the fact that you need to decide what is going to be the priority choice, what campus, Forest Park or the homeschool campus. So please, 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 it's incumbent on you to fill it out as a family. Don't rely on the middle school counselor, principal, secretary, custodian, or homeroom teacher to fill it out. Please, 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 if I can offer you one suggestion, okay?
Hay maestros, consejeros principales que con buenas intenciones le van a querer ayudar a llenar la aplicación a su hijo en la escuela. La principal está diciendo que sí, por favor, lo llenen como familia en casa, porque van a tener que contestar muchas preguntas y han habido errores. Y ya cuando usted escoge algo no se puede cambiar. Entonces, por favor, los anima a que lo hagan como familia para que los papás puedan escoger dónde es que usted quiere que su hijo vaya. A veces el padre quiere que su hijo vaya a un lugar y el estudiante quiere ir a otro. Entonces, muy importante, lo llenen en casa como familia.
Yeah, and one improvement they made, the online application platform we're using, it allows you to go in anytime between when you start it and when the application process closes on January 15th to make any edits. So if you decide to change something, you made an error, or you chose one campus, and you decide, I want to make this campus my first choice, you can make edits throughout the process where you don't have to keep refilling it out, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. Edit up until 11:59 p.m., January 15th.
Algo que se acaba de añadir para nuestra aplicación en nuestro sitio web es que antes no se podían hacer cambios ya cuando sometía la aplicación. Ahora se pueden hacer cambios si es que usted escoge algo en error, pero ese cambio solamente puede ser hasta el 15 de enero. Ya después de ahí no habrá cambios.
Sorry, I didn't like that I ad-libbed a little bit, so now it's mad at me.
All right, step 2. Step 2, there are 2 assessments. First assessment is an assessment in reading and math. Anyone take the MAP test ever? Students, MAP test, NWEA MAP. Parents, you may have heard of MAP. Okay? Many of you take the MAP test. That is going to be your assessment. You good with that one? Yeah? Keep going?
Yeah.
Okay. So, other than MAP, you may be familiar with iReady or FastBridge. Those are the 2 other tests, but MAP is predominantly the most popular.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. What about the Naglieri? Is that the same?
So we're getting that. No, you're good. All right. So the other assessment, the second assessment, is the NNAT3, otherwise known as the Naglieri Nonverbal Ability Test. That is the other assessment that you must take. I'm going to pause again. You good?
Yeah. Habrán 2 exámenes que va a tener que tomar su estudiante. Primeramente, el examen llamado MAP. Segundo, el examen llamado Naglieri y estará abierto para tomarse durante las ventanas que indicaremos.
So both assessments, I'm just going to say MAP and the Naglieri are done at your middle school. Okay, I'm going to say that one more time. Both assessments, the reading and math test and the Naglieri, are done at your middle school.
Estos exámenes se tomarán solamente en su escuela elemental. No pueden ser tomados en ningún otro lugar. Serán en la escuela donde su estudiante asista en este momento.
If you currently attend a private school and not one of these, if you're in a private school, there are 4 dates to register and take those assessments.
Si su estudiante no asiste a una de esas escuelas fundamentales que tenemos y asiste como una escuela privada o escuela en casa, hay 4 fechas indicadas donde su estudiante podrá ir a tomar esos exámenes.
Last step.
Those are online. The register. Okay.
The last step is your 7th grade transcript. We'll go into a little bit more detail on each of these now.
Por último, su estudiante va a necesitar su expediente académico de 7º grado para poder aplicar para esta escuela.
All right, so step 1 is the actual application. Closes January
15th.
Okay, January 15th, 11:59. Please apply before then. No paper version, everything is online. Go technology. So we're housing that through an off-site location. Everything I've been promised, and I'm promising you that everything is secure and your data and information is secure. Awesome. Okay. Need everything to be filled out. It'll say what is required and not. And you can toggle either English or Spanish or whatever your preferred language is on that application. And lastly, if you need any assistance, please, the easiest is going to be to email, but you can always call the Math and Science Academy office here, the district office, but this is going to be your easiest way to email this. It's msaadmissions@pths209.org.
Preparando los requisitos de admisión de MSA. Primeramente, muy importante, completar y enviar su aplicación en línea, que solamente estará disponible hasta el 15 de enero. Muy importante, el 15 de enero. Esta aplicación solamente va a ser disponible en línea, no va a haber versión en papel. Las aplicaciones serán enviadas directamente a nuestro red seguro del distrito y toda la información del estudiante estará protegida. Entonces no tiene que preocuparse de que la información de su estudiante esté por ahí. Cada espacio de la aplicación electrónica debe ser completado. Si algo falta, tiene que regresar y por favor llenarla. Cada espacio se presenta en inglés y en español. Para cualquier idioma que usted mejor prefiera, ahí eso le puede ayudar. Cualquier estudiante que necesite ayuda con la aplicación, tal vez alguna pregunta, algo que no entiende, con gusto puede mandarnos un correo electrónico a este correo que usted ve en la pantalla y le podemos contestar cualquier pregunta que usted tenga pendiente. What's the turnaround for replying to these emails?
Turnaround time?
2 to 4 days.
2 to 4 days?
Normalmente puede esperar una respuesta de este correo electrónico en 2 o 4 días.
All right, step 2. 2 tests. One is the reading and math, and then the other is that Naglieri test. Again, both of these are taken at your middle school. If you are at District 89 schools, Irving, Stevenson, or Washington Dual Language, or MacArthur or Northlake, you already took the Naglieri test November 13th. All right? Each school has specific dates. Each school is going to provide that assessment, and they will do any makeups. So just make sure that you're talking with your principal how you normally would. They are communicating all of that information on when that assessment's going to be. So I encourage you, if you don't know when, ask your school's principal, ask your school's teachers, ask the counselor. If you don't get that answer, ask us, we'll let you know too.
Se va a necesitar completar los exámenes de lectura y matemática y el examen de Naglieri, y estos van a ser tomados en su escuela donde actualmente está su estudiante. Hay escuelas que ya tomaron sus exámenes, entonces cada escuela tiene sus diferentes fechas, entonces no todas van a ser igual. Si no sabe cuándo son las fechas de su escuela, donde va su estudiante, por favor, pregúntele a la escuela y ellos lo van a poder guiar a cuándo serán estas fechas.
Right, so I think most families are familiar with MAP, again, or iReady or FastBridge, so I'm not going to spend some time talking about that because I believe most schools have given those tests for a number of years now.
Because, so the teacher and me just wants to recap. Right now, Mr. Ashoff, Ms. Enriquez are going we're not pushing out new info. He's just going more into depth on the aerial view of the testing part and the transcripts part. So you're not missing anything. He's now just giving the more robust details of what he already talked about, if you came in late. Okay?
The Naglieri test, or the NNAT3 test, it's a nonverbal test. There's no reading, there's no speaking, listening, or writing. No anything with that. It's nonverbal. It's an IQ test, and it tests your ability to recognize patterns.
El examen Naglieri se administra en todas las escuelas de fundación y es una evaluación, es una medida no verbal de las habilidades de razonamiento y resolución de problemas. Consiste en problemas que utilizan un conjunto complejo de formas y diseños geométricos sin necesidad de palabra o lectura.
Naglieri questions we've gotten. Is there any test prep out there for the NNAT, which is the acronym for the Naglieri? No. There's no test prep. You can look online just to see some screenshots of what one of the slides might look at, but there really isn't anything to study for. Like Mr. Ashoff said, it's more of an IQ test. But again, try Googling it, but there's nothing you can buy in the store per se or download for test prep for the NNAT.
So again, with this test, the middle schools are going to provide it. They're going to do all of the makeups. So we've talked with all of those middle schools, and they know that they're going to be giving both of those. Parents, for the math and reading, that MAP test, I've heard some schools are giving it later in January. I think one school maybe even be like January 20th. That's okay. Right? So I've communicated with all of those schools. They are going to be sending me all the scores for the math and reading assessment, and Proviso has access to all of the scores for the Naglieri.
Para el examen de lectura y matemática, hay algunas escuelas que lo van a estar tomando tarde en enero, que sería después de que cierre ya para las aplicaciones. Estamos al tanto de eso, no hay problema, tome el examen y ellos nos van a mandar las calificaciones directo a nosotros.
So we mentioned that, again, if you attend any of the foundation middle schools, they will be providing both sets of tests. If you are a student that attends a private school, or if you're homeschooled, or if you're going to be moving into the district, mention that there are 4 opportunities. On our website, there is a link that you can click to register for any of these 4 dates. And if you're a private school, homeschool, or moving into the district by the time next school year starts.
Estas fechas que ven aquí son solamente para los estudiantes que asisten a una escuela privada, son educados en casas o son estudiantes que se mudarán al distrito para el comienzo del próximo año. Tendrán oportunidad de aplicar para esta escuela aquí y le podrá hacer clic aquí a estas líneas, le puede hacer clic a estos enlaces y podrá aplicar aquí mismo.
This is not for students that attend one of our middle schools. So if you are at any of our middle schools, do not sign up for these. And if you are attending one of the middle schools in the Proviso Township footprint, here, do not sign up for this.
Recordatorio, estas fechas son solamente para los estudiantes que van a escuelas privadas o lo hacen en casa. Si usted va a una de las escuelas fundamentales que mencionamos en amarillo, esas usted va a aplicar a través de su escuela, no serán a través de estas fechas que tenemos aquí.
All right. Third is the transcript. This year, when the application closes on January
15.
Okay, we will take all of the applicants' names, because it also tell us what school you currently attend. We will be requesting transcripts from each of the schools. So parents, you guys do not have to do anything. We will ensure, and we've talked with each of the schools, and during the application, you give us permission to request the transcript on your behalf.
Su expediente académico oficial de séptimo grado será necesario para poder aplicar. Al finalizar el periodo de admisión el 15 de enero, será a las 11:59 p.m. Proviso se pondrá en contacto con la escuela del solicitante para solicitar un certificado oficial del séptimo grado. Así que nosotros lo pediremos por parte de usted.
If you do attend a private school or homeschool, it may be a little different, so you do have an ability to upload a transcript if you are a private school student or a homeschooled student.
Si usted hace escuela en casa o va a una escuela privada, podrá usted someterlo desde su propia casa.
We just have a different relationship with our foundation middle schools. I think everyone understands that, where there may be some finer nuances with private school students. Yeah. Yes. All right. Hold on to your. I do want to get all the questions, but hold on to that question, and we'll stay here all night as long as you need, or I'll give you guys my cell and email. You can send any questions. I want to make sure that we get questions answered. All right. 3 parts. We have the application, 2 tests, and transcript. I didn't pause for you. Okay. We talked about cut score. We take the test, the 2 tests, and your transcript, and get an overall score. The score itself is weighted by 35% for each test and 30% for the transcript. So we're going to take those scores and create an overall score, and it's comprised by using these different weights. We have one school, I think, in the district, Forest Park, who's utilizing standards-based grades. We've already worked out what that score value is going to be, but we can answer those nuanced questions later if you'd like.
Aquí es como se califica el valor de cada examen, cada cual su porcentaje. Al final, estos se sumen y nos viene dando su calificación y su posibilidad de entrar a la escuela.
You want to do this one? I know this is more like nuanced to you guys about the
Sure.
the proficiency
Yes, I
test.
think this is important for you guys to know.
Keep it short. I'm running out of space.
Sure. Yes, this is in the spring. If you are invited to the Forest Park campus, you will have to take a language proficiency test if you choose Spanish. We offer Spanish and French here. If you select French, unless you come from a French-speaking household, everybody will be placed into French, IH French 1. But if you select Spanish, you'll be taking a Spanish placement test so we can decide which Spanish level is best for you. Same thing with math. Even if you come from a middle school where you take integrated math in 8th grade, that does not mean you're going to place into integrated math honors 2, because our integrated math series is more rigorous than the 8th grade version of integrated math. You may still get high school credit for having taken integrated math in 8th grade. You will still get that, but you still need to take a placement test. Those fine nuances will be described further down the line. The main takeaway is placement test in the spring at the Forest Park campus for Spanish world language and for math. That's really all you need to know at this point. Okay?
Todos los estudiantes de MSA deberán tomar una prueba de dominio de idioma. Si eligen tomar español como su opción de lenguaje extranjera, en lugar de francés, pueden hacerlo. Además, requerirá que los estudiantes de MSA realicen una prueba de colocación de matemáticas para determinar el curso que les corresponde en su primer año, independientemente del nivel de matemáticas de su octavo grado. Finalmente, las pruebas de colocación de lengua y matemáticas se compartirán con los estudiantes de la clase del 2029 en la primavera.
All right, last slide. Then we're going to get some time with our students just to respect their time, and then a ton of questions, and I can't wait. So, all students, we will be notified. Our goal is always about mid-February every year. So, application closes January 15th. By mid-February, we'll send out notification notices. We'll also be communicating through that online application.
Para febrero del 2024, ya es cuando todos los estudiantes y sus familias serán notificados sobre su estado de admisión a la escuela.
The two things again with information, with questions, MSA admissions at pths209.org for email. Everything, including this presentation, will be on our district website. Our district website is pths209.org, and then all of this information is in /MSA. That's the specific tab where everything is housed.
Cualquier pregunta sobre el proceso de admisión, por favor envíen correo electrónico aquí al correo que usted ve adjunto y tendremos como 2 o 4 días para poder contestarle su pregunta que usted tenga. Esperamos con ansias poder servir a esta clase y para más información vamos a actualizar nuestro sitio web y ahí usted podrá ver cuáles son las nuevas noticias que estaremos teniendo sobre la aplicación y la admisión a esta escuela.
All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We've got 2 students here. Again, this time with our students, going to be more specific questions that you may ask a student, and then we'll go over those specific questions about the presentation in a little bit. All right. Guys, if you want to come up, I'm going to steal these chairs. Mom and Dad, I think your kids were over here, Mom. So I'm just going to steal these chairs. They can use those chairs. Unless you guys want to stand. First, if you just want to introduce you guys yourselves, and then we'll just have everyone fire away.
Yeah. Hi everyone. Hello. My name is Brandon. Hi everyone. Hello. My name is Brandon, and I'm a senior here at PMSA.
My name is Taylor. I'm a junior.
So we got Brandon, he's a senior, and we got Taylor, a junior. These are both members of our National Honor Society here at PMSA. Students in the house, do you have any questions for our students about life at PMSA, or if you want any advice from them? Feel free to ask them any questions while they're here, because they are getting community service hours for being here, so please make them work for their community service hours.
I'll start off as a mom.
Okay, question from a mom.
Here, tell me about extracurricular activities. What do you guys do?
We have a variety of extracurriculars. We have the robotics team, where we compete every year at UIC. There is a yearbook club where they design and take pictures for the yearbooks. There's like a class of year committee where you play in the prom and stuff. Medical club, if you're interested in like a medical field, they do field trips to Loyola. NHS for the exceptionals. They get invited to that sophomore year. And let me think what else. Oh, and Key Club, where they perform various community service related activities, which you need 40 of to graduate.
Okay, just to add on to that, for NHS medical club, those both
have different year requirements. So for NHS, you start in sophomore year. For medical club, you would start in junior year. But pretty much every other club you can start from freshman year on, and you can get service hours to do those. There's also a lot of smaller clubs like Girls League. There's a fantasy gaming club, a video game club. So a lot of smaller, less academic extracurriculars, and then sports through your home school. So,
the question that came up was regarding extracurricular, what's available, and they were giving some examples. We have over 25 clubs that students of all grades are welcome to join. Some are academic based, some are social, some are service oriented. You can see what we currently run by going to our PMSA website and clicking on the tab that says academics and athletics. And then if you go to the, I'm sorry, I said academics, I meant activities and athletics. And if you go to the activities one, it lists all our clubs alphabetically. And they were just speaking to a few of them in particular. Brandon talked about our robotics club, that they build a robot literally from scratch. They co-partner with West, and now this year East added on, so it's a triangulated club. And they mostly, once they get into build season, they use the multi-million-dollar facility at West, the manufacturing lab, to build a robot from the ground up. They compete at UIC at an international competition. Both of them spoke about the medical club that you can join junior year, and they partner with Strict, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, medical group at Loyola. They work over at Loyola. They talked about Key Club, which is a service-oriented club that they work with at Deborah's House, which is a domestic shelter. They do clothing drives, and they do peanut butter and jelly sandwiches to provide, it's a mother and child domestic abuse shelter that houses families. Taylor talked about Girls League, which is just a space for girls to get together and speak with one of our social workers, and they do unique activities together. And then our male social worker, Mr. Godinez, just started one for boys called Warriors League. That's pretty cool. There's fantasy gamers, video gamers, yearbook, you name it. But we have over 25 clubs. They're all listed online. Great question, Mom wanted to know. Also about athletics. Our students play at their respective home school. So they're either a Pirate or a Panther, and they play sports. And we have an activity bus after school that takes students to go play sports at their home school. Any other questions for our students so they can earn their community service? They're getting their community service either way.
What does PE look like for you guys?
Great question.
PE. We have a fully uniformed fitness center featuring a multi-purpose room, a weight room, and a cardio room. So that all depend, and a hallway track. The gym teachers switch positions based on the days, but some of the time you'll have like free gym where you can do whatever you want. The weight room has weight machines and free weights. Cardio room has treadmills, ellipticals, bikes of the standing and recumbent variety, and the rowing machines.
Awesome. Yeah, the question was about PE because we don't have a traditional gymnasium. So Brandon was saying what we offer. Our weight room, in addition to the free weights and the resistance machines, also has a full TRX station. And then obviously when the weather's nice, they go outside. Our multi-purpose room, they'll do volleyball, dodgeball, pickleball. They just ordered ping pong stations to accommodate up to, I think, 16 tables, so partner groups. And then they have yoga, brand new yoga mats for yoga. And then the cardio room, he was just saying they have spin bikes, treadmills, recumbent bikes, ellipticals, rowing machines. Yes.
Actually, this is kind of for you, but also do you offer ROTC, and if so, either of you take ROTC?
I'll let you guys answer. ROTC.
Neither of us are.
Nope.
No, we don't. East and West ROTC, but the ROTC officer talked to Mr. Zach about bringing it here. So that is in talks to bring it here to take, and you would get a physical ed credit for that. Great question. Is Mr. Zach here? Because he used to be our lead PE teacher, so he would do justice to that question better than I would.
My daughter's going to want to know how many flights of stairs.
Oh, great question.
There are 5, 6 if you count the basement, and elevators are not allowed. So
Unless you're
unless you're injured.
Yeah. So then, how many do you do on an average day? Flights of stairs.
Like at once.
So it's over the cumulative of the day.
Many flights of stairs. Great question. Oh. So, Mom
Many.
asked her, on behalf of her daughter, how many flights of stairs you do? And Taylor goes, you mean at once? a good answer. I would encourage you to try it out for yourselves. Come on December 17th. We're gonna have this information presented again, but it's gonna be 5:30 to 7:30, open house style. So we'll have all of our clubs will be represented, teachers and staff, classroom demonstrations. So I would say try out the stairs, find out if you can hang or not. We're going back real quick. I forgot one of the great accessories we have for wellness are polar watches. The wellness teachers just got them up and running, and then Apple TVs. So we don't have like a one size fits all with regard to physical exertion. The students are able to now, starting second semester, work up to what their own perceived cardio levels are. And then their names aren't going to be on the Apple watches, it'll be based on their ID. So the polar heart rate is taken based on their watches. One or two more questions, and then I'm going to bring the big guy back, giving him a break in his vocals.
I was wondering, do you have like a musical? And if you do, like, is like the production, is it, like, what do you think of the production if you ever saw it?
Oh, I was in the musical actually. I was the backstage manager. So we do a spring play and a fall musical. So we did Mamma Mia this year. So you do auditions for your parts. There, I think you took about 20 to 35 people that are in. But the play's a lot smaller, and then crew there's no audition.
42.
42? Oh, there are a lot of people. And then you have your crew who does all of the backstage stuff. So that includes lights and curtains and making the props. So Mr. Brown is in charge of that. He's a really good director. His support is our backstage director. She's really good at that as well. So we do put on pretty good productions, and we do ticket sales at the end to make things back for the next one.
Question was about musicals. We have musicals, and I went like this because I was like, do we have musicals? We just finished the fall musical Mamma Mia, which was phenomenal. And Taylor mentioned that she was the backstage student production manager, so she was able to answer that with enthusiasm. And so yeah, we had our biggest cast and crew to date with just between like roughly 45 students participated in that. So yeah, they did have a gold Mamma Mia. It was awesome. So, and then we also do a spring play, so fall musical, spring play, and a ton of students get involved in that. Yeah. We do also have a band as well, a concert band, beginner band, and a musical history and appreciation class that can be taken as an elective. And as well as regular chorus and advanced chorus, and then beginner theater, advanced theater as well. And then a plethora of art courses, so fine arts and performing arts. All right, if we don't have any more questions for our mini panel, mini but mighty, then we can move on to any questions related to admissions. But again, December 17th, Tuesday at 5:30, come one, come all. See what our school is all about. Walk the stairs, if you will. You're welcome to stay and ask questions. You are also welcome to depart, but we are here for you to answer any questions you have. You may not. That'll be the general direction to get you on the building. Thank you for coming.
Can I ask, do you guys have bus service?
We do. Morning, bus, and evening. We have our school bus routes. We also have a school bus. So if it's Tuesday for Tuesdays that comes at 5, right where